Jeffrey, Communications 1113, Persuasive Speech. A generation being consumed by violence. To persuade my audience on how I feel that a generation is being corrupted by television and video games. This thesis statement, the negative effects that TV and video games has on today's youth. Shots ring out in the darkness and screams can be heard in the distance. Two young lives will forever be changed. One will go to prison for a very long time, and the other will never see the light of day again. A life maliciously taken away in the prime of its youth because two people refuse to bow down and go their separate ways. These types of things are happening every day in our inner cities and in our local communities because children nowadays don't value each other's lives. Because it is being shown on TVs that it is cool, it's okay to be hard, it's okay to be the tough guy. It's not okay to turn and walk away from the situation. Last year alone, CBS 19 reports that there were over 16 homicides in the city of Longview. Now, when you think about that compared to a city like LA or New York or Chicago, that doesn't seem like a lot. But when you look at the per capita of Longview compared to those cities, that's a tremendous amount of young lives wastefully taken away from them. One problem is that our children have been desensitized by violence that they see on TV. They don't have a sense of reality when it comes to what's real life and what's fake. Because TV shows, you see them, actors all the time, they point guns at each other, they take each other's lives, and then you push rewind, and there they are again. They're living, human, breathing again without any bullet holes. So they go out and emulate these things they see on TV and pull a gun on someone, and boom, that life has been changed forever because that person doesn't come back. Not only is the TV affecting them, but also the video games that our children play. They're constantly playing these violent games that teach you how to go into war scenes and tactical combat with other people, and they're killing for fun and having a great time doing it, but then it's messing up their minds and warping their sense of reality. Many of the criminals that you see on TV, they play these roles and they get away with committing murder. They get away with all these different acts of violence, and children now are looking up to these people as heroes. And when they're looking up to these people as heroes, they want to do the things that they do on the movies. I can remember as a child, I was looking up to G.I. Joe and I was looking up to the Avengers and stuff, things that wasn't quite as violent as the shows and stuff that we see on today. Even the news programs that we watch on TV have become more violent in this generation compared to the generation when I was a kid. I can remember there being chalk outlines when they said that someone was dying. And on the news today, you turn it on and you can see the full scene where people are running around crying, where people have been shot. It's just a bit of change in the way we think. They say they do it for ratings. I say they do it because we have lost the love for our fellow man. Another big problem that we have is reality TV. Dealing with reality TV gives kids a false sense of hope. You see people on these reality TV shows with lots of money, lots of bling, lots of things that children nowadays want to emulate and be like. So they go out and do by any means necessary to get the money, to get these nice things, to have the nice cars, to have the jewelry and the Nike shoes. But they don't want to work to do these things, so they're left for a life of violence and a life of crime. It's always about the get rich quick scheme, and we're not teaching our kids any values anymore. America, the main problem is America needs to get back to the methods that got them to be such a great country to begin with. One, we need to introduce religion back into our schools. The loss of human morals has really cultivated this culture. We don't really consider anything to be taboo anymore. We do anything, we say anything that the imagination comes up with, and we are allowing our children to grow up with that same mentality. And another thing, we must put it back into our schools. We must put religion back into our schools. We've taken prayer out of schools. We've taken prayer out of government. We've taken God away from everything. And now we're left with a lawless generation that has no morals, that has no fiber to stand back on. We got to change the mindset of today's youth. We've got to get them to realize that a person's life is more valuable than any amount of stuff that you can get. The things that we want on TV, the things that we see, all of the gadgets and the gadgets are not worth a person's life, because once you take a person's life, that person can never come back. And if we change the mindset of our generation, then that generation will be able to render up a generation of children that also will be able to function as living human beings in this culture. We're not savages. We're not animals. We're not beasts. We are human. We should have a better nature than what our forefathers had. We have all the technology in the world, but yet we still go out and use it in foolish ways. We want to go out and kill one another versus learning to live harmoniously with one another. And the action we need to take as adults, my generation, the generation with children coming up, we need to get and change the child's mindset, and we need to introduce the child back to religion. A lot of people in my age group, I can remember we came to church as children. But now, today's generation, I'm a Sunday school teacher, and I can count most days on one hand how many kids I've got in my Sunday school class. And it's beginning to be a problem worldwide. I look and I live right in front of a church, and we walk outside and there's only a few cars at this church. We drive down the road, there's only a few cars at that church. It's because we don't have God in our lives anymore that we have become such a corrupt and perverse generation. By creating this domino effect of introducing God back into our school system, as well as bringing it back into our lives, we can create a generation of functioning children that can render up a generation of children that will render up another generation of children to grow strong and live harmoniously together.